Before we begin, thank you very much to the one missing plastic missile you could never find for joining the Patreon campaign. My sworn enemy. How dare you show yourself here? But thank you very much for the contribution. Thank you for helping to keep the channel going and the daily content coming. We have now done daily content for over 1,000 straight days on this channel. For everyone thanking me or congratulating me, you're welcome. Thank you very much. I'm not sure it's something that should be celebrated. I think it's the sign of a deep psychosis that I am not properly treating. That said, we're going to continue that with a news roundup for the day because it is Monday. It's what we do. There is quite a bit. I will try to breeze through it. As usual, I will fail. Here we go. So, Takara showed off the official images for their brand new masterpiece repaints. This is Lift Ticket and DK2 Guard. So they're keeping the ridiculous names that Hasbro gave them. Lift Ticket is the name of a G.I. Joe character. DK2 Guard is a very generic name based on his Diaclone numbering, I believe. It's a little bit disappointing. I would have preferred them to come up with some, fun characters for them, but essentially, yes, it's Red Hoist and Black Ironhide. Interestingly enough, they're actually being labeled as MPG-10 and MPG-11, which means the previous, the previous notion of Masterpiece repaints kind of falling under similar numbers is gone. And this is, the first example of repaints from the original Masterpiece line coming to MPG. Nothing terribly exciting or thrilling about that. But we do have, for the Diaclone Masterpiece collectors, we do have this nice red deco for Hoist. It doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad. Red, pickup truck. That's kind of classic. Yep, and he does come with some special effects. Comes with his alternate hands, etc., etc. Comes with, an actual lift in the back. Not a bad little package. I've got the Trailbreaker version of the mold. It's not a bad mold at all. And here we have Ironhide's mold, which was my toy of the year way back when it first came out. I absolutely love this mold. And it still seems about as feature-rich and loaded as it was before. It comes with a tray that holds on to some extra weaponry. It comes with a horrific face based on the sticker from the G1 toy that is actually legitimately frightening. But besides that, it does seem to be just as accessory loaded as the original Ironhide figure was. There's a ton that you can do to customize and enhance your DK2 Guard experience. You also see that little Easter egg in the window, how the sculpting there on the front is actually designed to look like the stamp, or the sticker on the original G1 toy. The original G1 face, it's a neat little trick. So yeah, if you're interested in some Masterpiece repaints, they've officially shown those off. Takara, as long as we're on Masterpiece, actually, let's stick to the Masterpiece trend for a little bit. Someone got their hands on Masterpiece Brawl. I know a lot of people looking forward to this one because it is a huge tank of a transformer, and it's a lot. It's a very interesting piece of engineering in order to get this thing to look movie accurate and still be nice and stable. You can see all the different accessories and parts that it comes with to load it out, especially all the effect parts, which great for battle damage, great for just making it look like he's firing off everything he's got. Movie aesthetic, really not for me, as we explained, but you know what? It's actually a really impressive figure. It doesn't look bad for a Masterpiece toy, for a Masterpiece movie toy, rather. I did my one dip into Masterpiece movie with Bone Crusher. I don't really plan to repeat that. So it's still a pretty good figure. You can see there compared to the Studio Series Voyager. So you can see it's a massive upgrade in scale. Not sure which one this is being compared to. It's not the leader mold. I assume it's third party. There's the leader mold. That's the leader version. So yeah, it's about as big as the original leader was. And those leaders from back then are actually pretty bulky and sizable. So that's saying something. But no, it does look impressive. It does look impressive to complete your set of 07 movie cons, save for Frenzy, who still doesn't have any respect, but, that's Frenzy for you. Takara also showed off the official images for the Dramatic Capture Autobot set, featuring a cartoon-accurate Optimus Prime, as well as one for Jazz, and then, yes, a mainframe. Teletran 1 from the ARC, repainted into its traditional G1 Action Master colors. it's not a bad set. I was reminded that Takara, of course, did not get nearly as many reuses of that Jazz mold as we did. So this is something a little bit fresh for that market. For us collectors over here, that's going to be a little bit redundant, but, you know, it's not for our market, so it's what it goes. You know, that's what happens. The Prime itself is looking really, really nice. I still have, like, the 35th anniversary Siege Prime that has, like, the anime styling and deco to it. This might supersede that if I decide to get this set solely for mainframe, which would be absurd for me to do. Jazz, on the other hand, is still looking good. It seems like the Jazz is very similar to the more recent one that came in the Autobot 5-pack. I can see a lot of similarities in the paint masks. They just swapped out some colors. So yeah, that's another option if you want that Jazz. If you want another round with that Jazz, translucent plastic as opposed to the opaque, but that's a preference thing at this point. Yeah, and here's, for me, like, the reason to get this. Takara, or Hasbro, I think, hinted a long time ago that, yeah, they absolutely could do the Ark's computer as a separate mainframe figure. This, probably not how they intended, but I'm glad that Japan is filling this gap and doing it themselves. It's cool that a proper mainframe toy is going to come out, and that it's still Teletran 1, which is fascinating, because it didn't even have to be. But it completes this whole diorama thing they're going for with these sets. Not bad. Not bad. And I'm willing to bet this is probably the last chance you're going to have to get a hold of that Earthrise Optimus Prime, which is a really good mold, by the way. See, let's move over to some Transformers 1 toys. So they showed off some official images for Bumblebee and Sentinel Prime. These are the Spark Changer figures, so I believe this is their stand-in for the deluxe class. And Bumblebee does look good, gets the knife hand that we saw in the trailer. And he does have a blaster arm as well. This is the one, I believe, where the chest can come off to reveal his incomplete form that he starts the movie off with. So the open, like the gap for, like, so you can see, like, where his transformation cog goes. Yeah, I don't think the official images show it off though. The bigger one is probably the Sentinel Prime, because this is our first really nice look at the figure itself, and it does look pretty good. I do like the traditional colorings on him. The jet mode really doesn't look like the box art. Look at the box art. You can see all the more like Tetrajet style, the reverse wing, the stuff underneath. It kind of resembles like a Bumblebee movie seeker in mold. Doesn't really apply here. It's got the reverse wings, but a lot of the rest of it kind of does its own thing. Not that I mind terribly. For me, I think it might indicate the fact that we might not even see Sentinel transform in the movie, so it doesn't really matter what his vehicle mode turns out to be. It's still a neat-looking figure, though. I'm still looking forward to this. Obviously, he doesn't have any, like, the spark gimmick or anything, but it still looks neat. It's not a bad figure. So, those are something to look forward to, because the toys do seem to be starting to shape up pretty nicely. We also have the official images for the Robot Battlers. I believe this is the entirety of Wave 1. And there's something about these that I keep forgetting that's super cool. Okay, so for starters, Alpha Trion, Starscream, Elita 1. But the part I keep forgetting is the fact that not only do all of them come with a base, so you don't need to buy a starter set or anything. I forgot these also transform. Like, they're properly transforming, and they can still do the Robot Battler, like, arm flailing gimmick. So Poe's ability as far as toys goes, probably not going to be there. But the fact that, you know, they completely function as Transformer toys is pretty cool, considering what else they do here. No close-up for Sentinel and Bumblebee, but if we haven't seen them already, I'm sure we aren't going to be long. It won't take long to see them again. Yeah, I'm typically skip out on things like this, mostly because I have no one who's going to play this with me. But I know, I might pick one of them up just for the sake of amusement, just to watch them flail around. Studio Series Gamer Edition Decepticon Soldier in hand. This is a heavy retool of the Barricade figure. It does look good as a generic grunt, and as we've stated, these are the accurate colors to the game with like the heavy shading from that game's art style taken away. Does look good. I mean, it's appropriately, like, vaguely Viacon, you know, so that works. I mean, the color scheme's fine. Yeah, it's still the Barricade mold, which means It's a little bit iffy as far as these go. I tended to like it a little bit better than some, but I will still agree it's not a great figure. They did fix one problem I had with the Barricade figure, and that is the feet actually have some actual sculpting to them. They're not just big flat panels. That's a nice addition. But yeah, I'm sure this is going to be all over. I don't expect this one to actually be like a big seller, considering how how collectors took the first mold and the fact that it's not a major character. I'm sure that if you want to build an army of these, it will not be difficult. So we'll wait for that one to come out, and we will see how it does. We have our first look at Lego Bumblebee. And this one is surprising and not surprising at the same time. So for starters, it does look pretty good. You know, considering this thing actually is going to transform into a beetle, that actually does look pretty good. We do acknowledge that there are some consolations to it. This is a much smaller figure than Prime, so I did not expect the same level of complexity. We will note that his legs do not seem to have full range at the hips. Looks like they go out and in on ball joints, but there's two of them, which means it can't go forward and back. And there's also no knees. I'm sure some Lego whiz is going to figure out exactly how to make this figure have full leg articulation and still work. But suffice to say, in order for this, I assume because of the small size or because they just wanted it to be more stable, Lego opted to leave the articulation to the upper half. I'm okay with that. I do think it looks good. I think it's going to be a great companion piece to the Optimus Prime. Just sit and wait and figure out exactly what the vehicle mode is going to look like. Because we know it doesn't part form, ironically. Just kind of waiting to see how well the rest of it came out. Because sometimes the Lego vehicles can be a little bit rough. So we'll see. I'm super curious. I do like how they solved like the leg thing here. I like how they solved the legs with like the multiple panels that fold forward and give the legs room to move. That's good. I like that. Hot Wheels Optimus Prime is in hand now. Not the $80 one. This is the $10 one that's just a normal Hot Wheel car. From the Track Fleet series, which is where they do all their trucks, we get a little bit of look at him in package. Nothing terribly exciting. There's the rest of his wave mates. Still weird to see Optimus Prime next to a Hot Wheels logo. I'm surprised. I'm kind of surprised. We know on the Bumblebee, they actually tooled the underside to have Bumblebee's head sculpted into the die cast on the bottom. Did not give Optimus the same thing here. It seems to be because of how the toy was assembled. You can see 3 rivets, actually 4. Now that I look at it, there's 4 connection points here, which would kind of take away any space they would have to put Optimus Prime's head in there. So I guess that's the downside. But still, I ain't paying $80. I certainly am not paying the the 140 or whatever scalpers have the toy up to now on eBay. I ain't paying that. Historic figure or not, I ain't supporting that. $10 for just a normal Hot Wheel car of Optimus. Okay, yeah, that if I saw it in a store, I'd probably pull the trigger on that. So this might be our first look at a Kids Meals toy for Transformers 1. It's just a very simple little Bumblebee. Just rudimentary articulation. Looks like it has a bit of a jetpack gimmick. Because we know jetpacks are a thing in that movie, so it wouldn't surprise me if that's a piece you could swap around to the others in the line. So we don't know any real release information about this, but the trademark stamping, the copyright stamp on it, does indicate that it's potentially a Burger King release. So keep an eye out on that. Yeah, I am presuming that is correct, because yeah, I miss the weird ones we used to get at McDonald's. I miss the transforming ones. I understand why we can't anymore, but I don't know, gotta miss it. Curious to see what the rest of them are gonna end up looking like, though. Blokees showed off their Wave 4 of their little mini model kits. I love the aesthetic of these with some animation accurate elements, some toy accurate elements, and this nice kind of chibi aesthetic to them without going too heavy into it. It's a really neat thing. We may or may not be hearing more from Blokees on this channel in the near future, so I want you to stay tuned for that. But for now, we can take a look at the upcoming releases. So we've got Hook and Scrapper joining the Constructicons, but on top of that, Shockwave and Ultra Magnus will also be joining the line. You can see nice level of articulation in these guys, and as well Smokescreen. Now, fun thing, so Blue Streak and Prowl were actually in the first wave of these, and they waited till wave 4 to give us the Smokescreen to finish it up. That's the line is fascinating to me in that they know when to hold back, and they're not like releasing all the heavy hitters in wave 1 or anything, which is not a bad plan. I'm actually kind of impressed at the foresight about it. Oh, and they're doing Tarn too. Just casually throw in a little chibi Tarn, why don't you? Most of these are either movie-based or they are like Rise of the Beast based, more specifically, or they are G1 based. So to throw in an IDW character like Tarn not only shows just how popular Tarn's becoming, but also, that they might actually be willing to go a few places that I didn't expect, which would be really, really cool of this toy line. We can also take a look at the rest of the wave here. We see we're going to get a Nemesis Prime, which is far more heavily armed than Nemesis typically is, along with a Snarl in both Robot and Beast mode. And I think it's been pretty cool that they've been really good about doing the Beast modes of the Dinobots, because, if you're a Season 3 fan, that's the mode you saw them in all the time. So not a bad call on their part. Some of the few that actually have both modes represented in this line, too. So, nice arrangement, nice layout. I'm looking forward to this. I might start in collecting these, because these do look really, really cool. Jada Toys showed off their Porsche, specifically the Porsche 935 Turbo, as Jazz, which I believe is the first time that the 935 has actually represented Jazz since his Pretender figure in G1. Keep in mind, anytime we've used Jazz since then, it has been a modified figure to avoid the exact car model, or it has been a completely new car model. Because Porsche has been very iffy about cooperating with Transformers. We speculated that would have changed with the movie, because of course Porsche is very heavily featured in Rise of the Beasts. It's weird that this is the first showing of a G1 Jazz because of Porsche's change of heart. I'm still expecting a Masterpiece figure at some point, but we've no word on that yet, so I guess for now, we just get this little Jazz. And it's neat. As die-cast cars go, it looks pretty good. It's got the usual door opening features. And there's the tracks that they're going to be doing as well, which is also cool. Alright. Statue news. So you remember those statues that we saw from Rise of the Beast? Well, if you are at Hasbro City in Mexico, they are on display right now. Out and about for you to get your photos in. Now, this is the Rise of the Beast statue. This is an evergreen Bumblebee. Kind of interesting that. These might be completely new statues for all I know, but this one does look like the one they were sending around the world for Rise of the Beast promotion. Yeah, and then again, Hasbro City also features some memorabilia you can't get anywhere else. You get patches, you get a big Optimus Prime magnet, things like that. The Leonardo da Vinci Optimus Prime, showing off Masterpiece 10, like the Convoy 2.0, I believe. Kind of funny. So yeah, you got photo ops if you happen to be in Hasbro City in Mexico. However, you can also be in France and get photos with Transformer statues. So, the Annecy Festival of Animation in France has these statues for Transformers 1. So apparently we're doing the same world tour with statues that Rise of the Beast got to promote the movie. And it does show off the rounded aesthetic. They are seen to be very, very screen accurate. Love the how reflective and metallic these guys are. They look really, really good. There you can see the entire cast. There's Bumblebee. Really nice to see. These are also the pre-TCOG versions too. So this is how they start the movie off as. Yeah, kind of awesome that you get to just see such really well-rendered versions of the characters from the movie in live. I wish stuff like this would come to my area, but no way they're sending something like this to Florida. If they are, it's going to be Orlando or Miami or some other city I don't want to drive to. Speaking of Transformers 1, it is officially set to wrap up in July, meaning next month the film will be 100% done and ready to go. And then, of course, 2 months later, we're going to see it in theaters. Really, really exciting stuff. Good to see that everything seems to be done. I wouldn't be surprised if we get if it's going to be completed in July. I would not be surprised if we got another trailer sometime around there. Now that the footage is complete, we will wait and see. If you want something to bide your time until the movie comes out, a new season of Transformers Earthspark has officially premiered on Paramount Plus. Same way they did it previously, the first 10 episodes of the season are currently available. I have not watched it yet, but as we did with season 1, I will be doing like 2-part reviews. We'll be doing it 2 episodes at a time here on the channel. I might start that next week because I always want to give people a chance to watch it first and avoid any kind of spoiler. So I want to pace this out and not inundate you with episode reviews because I know a lot of you aren't into the series, and that's completely fine. But I'm just telling you, we're going to go back to reviewing those. More artwork for you to glare at. This is the cover of Transformers Generations 2024, featuring 3 generations of Optimus Prime and Megatron, with a Cybertron being devastated in the background. It's a cool cover. It's a very cool cover. And then, yeah, of course, there's the promotion for the Masterpiece and the Missing Link toys. But no, that's what you expect. If you're collecting those books, there's your next one. Have fun. More artwork. We got little glimpses of this before, but now we actually have the full promotion. So Scott Johnson, who actually did the poster work for Legacy Evolution, showed off this original version of what that poster was going to look like. You can see the destroyed Unicron head in the background, which was not present before. But the main thing is that version of Straxus in the front, based on his comic book appearance, which would have had him look far more trashed and far junkier in appearance, almost a cobbled together robot rather than his traditional comic book appearance. We almost got this. This kind of shows you how close they were to actually releasing that figure. I'm ultimately glad they didn't, because the Straxus we're getting is going to look really, really cool. But cool to see exactly what almost was, you know? I like it when little pieces of history leak through like this. Now, if you want more music to listen to, the Rise of the Beast soundtrack is due to be released soon. So we have Prime, Scourge, Unicron, Ideas Mirage, Ideas Maximals Maximize, Ideas Optimus Primal, Ideas Terrorcons, Ideas Unicron the Tower. This gets a little word salad, doesn't it? So apparently this is a fault of me reading old articles from the last week. This is out now. This is already out. You can go listen to it right now on all of your favorite streaming services, just in case you want to listen to that movie again. And to wrap us up for the week, Roosevelt X Transformers has released their brand new designs, which we can see here. We have this colorblind test printed on a shirt. Looks like one of those posters you have to cross your eyes to see a picture jump out at you. We have this silhouette, which is actually really cool. I actually really like how this looks. I wish the Transformers on display were a little more distinct in design. I wish the silhouettes were a little bit stronger so I could tell more who they are, but it is a really cool look on the shirt. This split Optimus Megatron shirt, again, a really cool design. You got kind of a retro tattoo style art. There's some classic art along with Grimlock. Yeah, it's just some neat stuff. Like, this stuff is usually out of my price point because this is very designer clothing style. This is kind of hilarious, though, with the Dinobots kind of hiding amongst the jungle. I think it's just Grimlock. It's just Grimlock hiding around. See, that's the mold. That's the print you do for a Beast Wars shirt. What were you thinking? What were you thinking? But no, if you want to show off your Transformers love and have some high-quality clothing at the same time, there you go. And that is going to do it. Yeah, we're about 25 minutes. I consider that a victory, considering how long and how much news there was to go through this week. But that is your wrap-up. That's all the news there was worth talking about. Thank you, everyone, for watching. As always, I will see you next time.